ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Before we get started, I would like to make some important rules for today's event. Rules number 1, Zoom participants log in with a format account, full name, underscore institution name, example, Nida Sulfa Firdausi, underscore UGM. Number 2, participants wear neat and polite clothes. Number 3, participants use the virtual background that has been provided in the WhatsApp group. Number 4, participants who have been allowed to join by the host do not have to send a present in the chat column. Number 5, participants can submit questions in the Q&A sessions through the Q&A column with the format full name underscore question. Number 6, in the end of the meeting, the committee will share online presents and evaluation form through the QR code and chat column. Number 7, participants are required to follow the entire series of the program from the beginning to the end. Number 8, participants who do not attend and fill the attendance form will not receive a certificate. Number 9, a certificate will be distributed maximum a month after this event is held. Number 10, participants are not allowed to leave the meeting room without permissions or do other things outside the event. Now, before we start our today's event, let's welcome the special performance of students from the Health Information Management Study Program, Universitas Gadjah Mada, namely the traditional dance, Ronggeng Nyentrik. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the International Guest Lecture on Health Information Management 2024, which brings up the main topic, the future of health information management professionals in the digital era. Thank you for participating in today's event. This event is hosted by the Health Information and Service Department, Vocational College Universitas Gadjah Mada. And this event is broadcasted via Zoom meeting and YouTube channel MRFSVUGM. Please let me introduce myself. My name is Nida Sulfa Firdausi, and I am delighted to be your Master of Ceremony of today. And now let me welcome our special guest. Welcome to our Honorable Professor Dr. Ing Insinyur Agus Mariono IPM M.Eng as the Dean of Vocational College Universitas Gadjah Mada. Welcome to our Honorable Dr. Nurrohman SSC M.Kom as the Head of Health Information and Service Department. Welcome to our Honorable Speaker, Ms. Cassandra Rupnik. Welcome to our Honorable Moderator, Ms. Annisa Maulida Ningtyas S.Kom M.Eng. And last but not least, welcome to guests and audiences at International Guest Lecture on Health Information Management 2024. Previously, on this special morning, we have several agendas, and I will read several sequences of our agenda. The first is opening. The second is playing the Indonesian national anthem and the hymn of Gadjah Mada. The third is welcoming remarks from the head of Health Information and Service Department, Universitas Gadjah Mada. The fourth is documentation session. The fifth is moderator introduction. The sixth is the speaker's review reading and the plenary of the topic Health Information Management Professional Competencies Update in the Digital Health Era. The seventh is Q&A session, and the last is closing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, further for the sequence of our agendas, we will hear the national anthem of Republic Indonesia, Indonesia Raya, and the hymn of Universitas Gadjah Mada. Ladies and gentlemen, please prepare yourself. Thank you. Now, before we start our event, let us hear the remarks from the head of Health Information and Services Department. However, because Dr. Nurrahman S.Com is unable to attend for today's event, the welcoming remarks will be delivered by Mr. Dian Santoso, S.K.M. MPH. For Mr. Dian Budi Santoso, the screen is yours.
Oke, thank you, Mbak Nida. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan, salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Selamat pagi, Sugeng Enjang. Good morning, everyone. All praises to the God that today we can attend the International Guest Lecture with our distinguished speaker, Cassie Rupnik, from Western Sydney University. Nice to meet you, Cassie. Thank you for your time and effort to this event. And the honorable guests, participant, and all of organizing committee. It's an honor for me on behalf of Department of Health Information and Services, Vocational College Universitas Gadjah Mada, especially in Health Information Management Study Program, to welcoming all of you here in our event, International Guest Lecture, held by our students. So basically this event is from students to students, ya, dari mahasiswa untuk mahasiswa. And the topic of today International Guest Lecture is HIM Professional Competencies Update in the Digital Era. So this topic is very interesting and in line with the blueprint that's developed by Ministry of Health of Indonesia, that in the end of 2024, all healthcare facilities must implement electronic medical record. And of course, it's very challenging, for us, for health information management professional. So in today's event, we will have broader knowledge about the competencies update in digital era that needs for health informed management professional. And our highest appreciation for all organizing committee with their unwavering spirit so this event can be held well. Also, thanks to Bu Annisa as a moderator. Long time no see, Bu Annisa. Hope to see you soon in Yogyakarta. Congratulations for already passed your PhD defense. And last but not least, all participants, both from UGM and other institutions, welcome to this event. Hopefully, all of you can gain a lot of knowledge and insight. Thank you. I think that's enough from me. So enjoy this event. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much for Mr. Dian Budi Santoso for the synthesis. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a picture together. So for all participants, please turn on your camera and we are going to take screenshots for documentation. I repeat, please turn on your camera and we are going to take screenshots for documentation. Okay, ready? I will begin the documentation. Start from the slide 1. Ready? On my count. 1, 2, 3. Smiles. Hold on. Now for the slide 2. On my count. 1, 2, 3. Pose. Hold on. Very good. Thank you. Now for the slide 3. On my count. 1, 2, 3. Very good. Now for the slide 4. On my count, 1, 2, 3. And for the slide 5, ready? On my count, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now the documentation session is over. We have come to our main agenda, the plenary session. We will be led by our moderator. It is now my deep pleasure to introduce our moderator, Miss Annisa Ningtyas. Hello, Miss Annisa.
Hello.
Hello, it's
Maulida.
nice to see you again. How are you today, Miss Annisa?
It's good.
Alhamdulillah.
Very
Thank
good.
you for your
Thank you.
presence today. Now I will read Miss Annisa curriculum vitae. Miss Annisa Ningtyas, S.Kom M.Eng, is a lecturer of File Formation and Services Department at Universitas Gadjah Mada. She's ongoing education from 2019 at Technische Universität Wien, Austria, as a doctoral candidate of informatics, where her research centered on aiding lay people in understanding medical terminology through entity linking. In 2016, she worked at Department of Digital Multimedia Engineering, Jakarta State Polytechnic, and in 2017, she worked as a software developer at the Center for Economic and Public Policy Studies, Universitas Gadjah Mada. And right now, she is a lecturer of Information and Services Department at Universitas Gadjah Mada. Ms. Annisa Ningtyas is currently conducting research in natural language processing and information retrieval within medical fields, building upon her previous work. Her areas of expertise and interest include natural data processing, information retrieval, and human-computer interaction. Her work is also involves interdisciplinary projects in data science with a focus on data analysis. Now, Ms. Annisa Ningtyas will lead for the next few sessions. For Ms. Annisa, the screen is yours.
Okay. Thank you, Nida, for inviting me as a moderator. Good morning, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to the International Guest Lecture on Health Information Management. My name is Annisa Ningtyas, and I will be your host on today's event. I would like to remind again that we gather virtually to learn and to explore a very interesting topic on health information management professional competencies update in the digital health era. Because as all we know that him professional have expanded beyond managing the medical record, the physical medical records. But we are also now facing to the integrating the data technology. Also, we are now we expanded the works into the ensuring the data security and also privacy, supporting the data-driven and decision-making, also in navigating involving regulations, especially now in the emerging and advancing fields of the AI and the generative AI also. So here that to help to open up our knowledge about these changes, I would like to invite, and we are honored to invite Ms. Cassandra Rupnik as an expert in health information management. Hello, good morning, Ms. Cassandra. Oh, good afternoon. I'm sorry. I think in Austria it's already afternoon. In Austria now we are in 5 a.m. in the morning.
It is afternoon here. It's a very hot afternoon, and
Yeah.
I'm very honoured to be here and meet you all. I am so enthused to see so many health information management students and managers, 227 online.
Exactly.
That is so exciting. That just makes my heart swell.
Yeah, I also quite surprised actually. Like, oh, we have a lot of participate, so which is a nice, interesting topic. I believe that you will give us an interesting lecture today.
Yeah. I hope I can fulfill that wish.
No, I believe that one. You're an expert. So I think I would like, before we go to our presentations, I would like to give the housekeeping matters maybe about our sessions today. so that first that you will present, you will give the presentations, and then also after you finish your presentation, we will have a question and answers session. Here that we will select only 3 questions. So unfortunately, we limited the questions in only 3. But then maybe after the session, if someone would, if any participant would like to ask your questions, maybe is it possible to send you questions on your email directly or any kind of source? Okay.
Either email or LinkedIn Messenger.
Okay, so it's nice, perfect. So it's not limited to in our sessions only. So, and then for all the participants, I would like to encourage you to, if you have some kind of like questions and you would like to ask a question, don't need to wait until the session. So you can put on your questions in the message, in Zoom message, so that maybe then the committee will select. I think unfortunately we need to select manually for only limited to 3, but then hopefully maybe the rest, yeah, Ms. Rupnik can see it directly, and then maybe someday you can contact her, Ms. Rupnik, in the future. Okay, so I think I would like to I would like to introduce you to our participants. So I would like to read I tried to summarize, I'm sorry, but maybe some kind of like a missing information, because you have a long list of
It's very long. I have been a HIM for over 30 years, so I have done a lot of things.
Yeah, it makes sense. You have a long list of CVs, so I'm trying to summarize. I'm sorry if there's some kind of like mistakes that I put on here. So yeah, I would like to introduce Ms. Rupnik. So Ms. Cassandra, or like Cassie Rupnik, is a health information manager, and also she's also a consultant and also a lecturer on the at the Western Sydney University. And then Ms. Rupnik is a health information manager with a Bachelor of Applied Science in Health Information Management from Cumberland College, University of Sydney. Also, she is a board member of Health Information Management Association of Australia. She is also certified in a Health Information Manager, or like CHIM, and also she is certified also in Health Informaticians Australia, or CHIA. So yeah, her expertise spans from the clinical coding, revenue cycle, public health, including funding and costing, private health insurance, also data requirements, data analytics, and also the project management. Yeah, Ms. Rupnik has held significant roles at various health organizations, which is including from the Hunter, New England Local Health District, and also she's lecturer in the Western Sydney University, and she's involving also in CMR consulting. So which is very impressive roles you have. And then
thank you.
She's also an active member of several professional associations, including member International Federations of Health Information Management Association, Association Fellow of Australian College of Health Service Managers, also member Clinical Coding Society of Australia, and foundation member Australian Institute of Digital Health. And then the rest, many other professionals you may see in the screen. And also she has numerous presentations at international conferences, and like in her field, especially in the health information management. So, and then we can consider that Ms. Rupnik is one of the experts in health informatic management domain. And yeah, today she will discuss with her expertise, she will discuss the topic of HIM professionals' competencies updates in the digital health era. I'm so interesting to learn and then to know about this topic, because as we know that now we shift towards, especially with the generating AI, like the AI thingy. Now it changes the HIM professional in some way, so that yeah, I would like to welcome you, Ms. Cassandra Rupnik. So again, the virtual is yours.
Thank you. Right, so now I'm going to try and share my slides with you. Just one moment. Now, I hope I'm going to get this right. So what I've done is actually gone back and done a little bit of history of health information management competencies and how it has occurred in Australia from the time we first started as medical record librarians back in 1949. So let's get into it. Okay, so competencies are developed to measure your knowledge and your learning achievements. Now, you can improve your competencies the whole way through your career, which I think is really important. And I try to do quite a lot. I do extra study outside of my work and trying to learn something new every day. And you guys have taught me something new already. I love the fact that you've got so many students. That is just amazing. I only have 2 students currently at the University of Western Sydney, and we have a very large workforce shortage in Australia of both clinical classification officers or clinical coders and health information managers. So if we go back to 1949, we had the first set of competencies set up to train medical record librarians. Now, Mrs. Edna K. Huffman came over from Northwestern University in Chicago, and she set up the first training program. Now, the first training program was 10 days. So you did 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 days a week. And you had doctors lecturing you at the time, and it was all held at Royal Prince Alfred, which is in Sydney. It is still there. It's still functioning. It's been a hospital since the late 1890s, maybe even earlier. And it has an enormous historical value to Australia and particularly to the health information management sector here in Australia. Edna K. Huffman wrote 4 books during her lifetime. Her last book, which is here, is the 9th edition of Medical Record Management. And as I said, I've been a HIM for over 30 years. So I have my own copy here, which I used to study when I was at university in 1989. That was the last original one she wrote. There has been updates on the editions, but they have been written and updated by other people. So she had a great influence on medical record careers, both in America and Australia, and how medical record systems are set up all over the world. Back when we had paper records and paper patient master index files. So in 1951, the Australian, the New South Wales Medical Record Librarian Association decided that it was needed to set up a proper school. So again, we brought in a renowned American HIM or medical record librarian, Miss Sarah McKinney. She suggested they only have 3 to 4 students at any time to be able to teach them thoroughly, but also so they'd be able to work on site. Now, if we had all the students that you guys have, we wouldn't be able to fit them into a medical record department back in the 1950s. So during that time, they had 4 students that were the original student cohort. Doctors gave 20 hours of lectures on medical science. Anatomy and physiology, there was 20 hours, medical terminology, medical record science was 80 hours, but they also had to incorporate practical work at the same time. Now, over the years, things haven't changed too much. So doctors don't always give the medical science lectures anymore at university for HIM courses, but some do. We still do anatomy and physiology. We still do medical terminology. We still do a basis of medical record science. And these days, we're also looking at business processes. So we come to our current competencies. So we've gone, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 competencies that you had to pass back in the 1950s. Our current competencies have just been updated this year. And I'll just open that up. Hopefully the link will work. No, it hasn't. Here it is. No, it hasn't worked. I apologise for that. I will fix it up. So, Annisa, if you can share the slides afterwards so people can get in. This is actually on the HIMA website, and it's publicly available. We now have, just so that I can show you, well, kind of, we have, I think, 143 competencies, which is a very large document. The document is actually 38 pages. Now, it covers everything from paper medical records to electronic medical records. It also covers data analytics, all those things that we need to know about and be competent in when we go out into the workplace. One of the things that we do need to know more about is how to work and get into and facilitating updates and making sure that we have excellent electronic data. Now, we'll go into that a bit further in the next few slides. So in Australia, we have 3 undergraduate schools. We've got a Bachelor of Health Information Management at the Queensland University of Technology. We've got a Bachelor of Health Information Management at La Trobe University in Melbourne. And we have a Bachelor of Information and Communications Technology, majoring in HIM at Western Sydney University. Now, Queensland and Melbourne are very traditional types of courses. The difference with the BICT degree at Western Sydney University is that they actually have a computing background. So they know how to write programs. They know how to code, so different to clinical classification coding. They know how to code computers. And this is something that we need to look at in the future of updating our skills. We need to make sure that we've got those skills in the future to follow along with everything that is coming out. And how are we going to manage hospital or patient information that we've been put in charge of? So that gives you the background and the basis of where we're going and what's happening. So what do we do when we finish university? We've got this lovely shiny degree, and now we need to put it in practice. Annisa, maybe you can help me with this. Do you do a lot of practical placements when you're at university? Do you go out and work in health information departments?
Yeah, I'm working in health information department. But I mean, like as a lecturers only, because my background is in the health information, but in like not directly as a health information management. They're in the domain, but my background basically in more information technology. But now I'm
Information
shifting.
technology, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And then I'm shifting.
And to me, I believe that that is what is important for the future of health information managers. We still need to understand the background of why we do things, why do we number things a certain way, so terminal digit filing, but we also need to understand how do the computers work? How can we fix a problem? Now, I'm probably a little bit old for that now, but I rely and I talk to my younger colleagues who can teach me, or I can teach them what I need to be able to get the right information out. So competencies should be always developing, and they will always be changing, particularly in this time of great technological advancement. So I don't know whether this is going to come up, seeing my link didn't work last time. Ah, yes, it did. Fantastic. Okay. Can you see that web page?
Sure,
Okay.
sure, we can see it.
So this is when I was looking at how the competencies are working, I found this page and I actually thought it was excellent because it gives you what you need to do when you're working and you're in your career. So you need to make sure you've got communication. You need to be teaching and mentoring. There is an old saying that you learn one, you show one, or you teach one, and then you go back to learning. So each time you teach someone, you learn more, and then you can go back and reinstate it. So you need to be teaching and mentoring. So what I'm doing today is I'm really having a mentoring session with you guys and trying to teach and show you what I've learnt over the last 30 years to help you on your pathway of being a health information manager. Professionalism. We always need to work in a professional manner, a respectful manner, an ethical manner, and an honest manner. So that's part of your professionalism. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. So we shouldn't be saying, no, you can't do this because of, we need more health information managers. So we really don't have the right to say no to somebody if they're willing to learn and follow the pathways of being a good HIM. Leadership and management, that is the basis of our degrees. And then you want career development. So that's the 6 professional competencies from Stanford University. And I'd encourage you to have a look at it when, if you get a copy of the slides, or just take a note of it now and go in and have a look at what the definitions are. So with the 2 major health information associations in the world, you've got HIMA and AHIMA. So as Annisa mentioned, I have post-nominals of a CHM, which is a CHIM. I'm a Certified Health Information Manager, because I've been able to prove that I keep my education up to date, and I also participate in functions and teaching and learning through HIMA. So okay, so HIMA won't let me get, HIMA won't let me go into that at the moment. Now, AHIMA is the American Health Information Management Association. They actually do certifications by exams. So if you go on to LinkedIn and you link up with someone that's an American HIM or an American clinical coder, they will have different post-nominals behind their names depending on the certification they've got through examinations. Now, with all of this credentialing, everything has to be updated continually so that we're keeping up to date and we're learning what's happening. Now, one of the big things in Australia is CHIA from the Australian Institute of Digital Health. Now, I don't know whether that's going to come up. Right, this one did, so that's good. So CHIA, the CHIA exam was originally written by both health informaticians and health information managers. So it's a great exam to update health information managers on their knowledge to do with digitisation. So there is an exam. You've got a textbook which is about 300 pages, but it is the type of thing that helps you with your electronic and digitisation of things as you're learning and keeping you up to date. Particularly when you're coming at the other end of your career, like I am, this is where I keep up to date and I do a lot of self-learning. So this is another area that has credentialing, and So we're looking at, so a CHIA formally recognises the knowledge and skills of those working in health informatics and digital health. CHIA demonstrates that you have broad expertise in health informatic principles, concepts, methods, and the ability to apply these in the workplace. Now, compared to traditional HIM courses, they don't do a lot of health informatics and digitised records. And that's the difference with the University of Western Sydney. Because we're a Bachelor of ICT, you've got that other background of digitisation and electronic records. So where are we now? I'm going to try something here. Another thing to see if it comes up. I have a YouTube video of the advances that is happening in New South Wales Health. Now, I was part of the introduction of the electronic health record back in 2014, 15, and then we went to the electronic record for ICU and also into the electronic medicine. So let's see if I can get this YouTube up, right? Now, you'll have to tell me if you can hear it.
Let's say you have 50K in cash and
Can
you
you hear
need to
that?
buy a
Yeah, we can hear
$500,000
it.
property to live in, which means $450,000 would be the mortgage. Now that's
Ministry of Health, eHealth New South Wales have been able
Hang
to
on, I'll
extend
just-
local innovations.
Okay.
Okay, could you hear that?
Yeah, we could hear it. On my
Okay.
side, I can hear you. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, fantastic. All right, I'll start playing it again. So it just gives you a background of what's happening and where we're going in New South Wales.
Since 2016, the EMR Connect program has delivered 30 solutions which enhance patients' electronic medical records. The EMR is a core clinical tool used by tens of thousands of clinicians every day to support patient care. Working in collaboration with local health districts, specialty health networks, New South Wales Health pillar organisations, and the Ministry of Health, eHealth New South Wales have been able to extend local innovations to statewide rollouts. The completion of core clinical documentation in the EMR for 187 facilities and acceleration of the electronic medication management (eMeds) rollout has been an integral part of the program. Before eMeds, medication management in New South Wales hospitals was primarily paper-based, which caused consistency and legibility issues. eMeds minimises the risk of medication usage errors and incidents. eHealth New South Wales have worked with our partners to deliver the eMeds solution across 200 facilities in New South Wales. Built on the consistent foundations of eMeds, additional solutions were developed to support a range of clinical workflows for complex and high-risk medications. Fluid infusion management is now used in over 180 facilities. Patient information has been integrated in the EMR and other systems, providing a more comprehensive patient overview for clinicians. For example, the linkage of patient information between oncology systems and the EMR provides clinicians access to view treatment summaries and appointments, improving the patient experience. The patient privacy auditing solution supports compliance with Privacy Acts. Between the Flags helps identify deteriorating patients early and is an integral enhancement delivered by this program. An end-of-life care solution has also been developed, which includes advanced care planning information such as assessments, care considerations, and digital resuscitation plans. This provides clinicians real-time clarity regarding patient wishes and optimal care. The leading Better Value Care EMR initiatives improve outcomes and experiences for people with specific conditions, along with other EMR enhancements. One of the program's largest projects is the Comprehensive Care Solution, which is expected to improve collaboration across multidisciplinary teams, the patient, their family, and carers. It will also provide greater personalisation of care and intuitive electronic medical record documentation, resulting in time-saving measures for clinicians. The EMR Connect program has delivered the largest rollout of EMR in Australia, with a consistent foundation of capability across New South Wales. Having easy, immediate, and equitable access to vital digitalised health information improves patient safety and health outcomes and provides greater support for clinicians with decreased variation in practices. eHealth New South Wales would like to acknowledge the hard work and support of everyone who has contributed to the success of the EMR Connect program.
Okay. So that just gives you a brief outline of what is currently happening in New South Wales with our electronic records, our medication, and all then the branches that go off on from those central or core products. One thing they didn't mention was ERIC, which is our electronic ICU record. And so if you go out on site, and you guys have already said that you're mainly paper-based at the moment, you have those big ICU charts that have everything on it, all the graphs and everything on it. Eric pulls it into one simple, readable system on the computer. So this is another article that I think you should have a look at. It's off LinkedIn. It was only done a couple of months ago. And it makes for interesting reading because it's talking about what is the latest innovations that are out there. So it's all happening. And if you guys are now moving to an electronic health record, these are the things that you need to be keeping yourself up to date with. You need to be able to find articles. You need to be able to research it. One of the subjects with activity-based funding this semester, I had my students do a comparison between a hospital in New South Wales, hospital in another state, and a hospital in another country, and talk about where things are going and what's happening. Now, they're the type of things that you can research to build your knowledge and your expertise on what is happening out there with electronic records and digitised records. So one of the big questions that came about in 2016 when New South Wales was going to an electronic record, what do you do with all the paper records? How do you manage it? Do you start a brand new medical record for each time the patient comes in? What happens to their past history? How do you incorporate that into your electronic record? Now, that might be a discussion for another day because it is quite lengthy and there's lots of considerations that you need to take into your figures of working it all out. But then that's exciting. So you can also, you look at, well, if you're going to digitise your record and you've had say you keep records for 10 years, an adult, you keep the record for 10 years and then it's destroyed if the patient hasn't been in for that 10 years. When do you then destroy electronic records to decrease that data that is on your servers? Do you keep it at 10 years or do you leave it for 20 years? Do you keep it for 50 years? Are you going to get more research being done because it is easier to get hold of the records and easier for the records to be read? So they're considerations that have to be made going to an electronic record. And I think that's really exciting. And you know, nearly 10 years down the track from when I first helped introduce EHR, I have a lot more thoughts about what you could do and what you need to look at. So I think, you know, it could be a discussion for another time. Not today, because I'll probably talk too long anyway. Okay, so here's another one on AI. And how do we corral the technology into something that's usable? It fits in with legislation. It fits in with patient privacy. It fits in with business as usual. How do we do that? Now, this one's talking about clinicians using AI to write their medical record notes. Now, that can be a real problem because if they're using AI, are they typing it in and asking AI, or are they speaking into it and getting an AI response? Do they have an accent? I mean, noticeably today, my accent is very different to what the majority of you have. So what I'm saying into AI, will it come out the same way as what you're saying into AI? Are we going to use the right terms, the right medical terminology? And how are we just going to process that? And then the step further, how do we then classify it with our classification systems? So this is quite an interesting thing. I know some doctors who use ChatGPT and things to write their notes in general practice. So they're not in the hospital, they write it in their rooms. I'd like to see some more of those and actually, you know, then analyse it and do some research on it. Anyone that want to do their PhD on how AI helps on medical note taking? It would be in really interesting things. How many times do you get it misinterpreted? I also know doctors that when we introduced the electronic health record, they would bring their secretary in to type their notes up for them because they didn't like typing. They wanted a pen and paper. So then you have to look at so this is going back to, again, introducing an electronic record. Who is going to have the access? So the doctor's given his secretary the password, his login details, and she's typing it. But she doesn't work for the hospital. She works for the doctor in his rooms 2 kilometres down the road. So does she legally have a right to be putting information into our electronic health record? So all sorts of things for everyone to start thinking about and looking at with the introduction. We've got threats and risks, as we do with everything. With paper records, you've got the risk of someone putting it in the back of their car and driving home. You've got the risk of a patient picking it up and taking it home because the nurse has left it on the bedside table. You've got the risk of someone walking into the room and reading all about that page. So privacy and all of that is difficult if it's not mandated and reviewed regularly of how you keep patient records. We go to an EHR. We've got scams. Now, how many scams have we seen happen and medical records have been shut down in the US in the last 12 months? You've got phishing. Some innocent person has clicked on a link in their email that they've gotten at work because they haven't checked it or they haven't been trained in how to make sure that they're not getting scammed. Unauthorised access. The nurse has turned around to give the patient his medication and the person in the bed next door to him has stood up and read the medical record, even though it's electronic, because it's there and it hasn't been closed off or there's no privacy screen on. Privacy, how do we ensure that patients' privacy is kept well? So one of the things that came up in the New South Wales Health video that I showed you was that there is a privacy check to see you can audit who actually accesses that medical record. Okay, so if you've got some famous singer coming to the hospital and then you see a person's name involved in it that is not involved in that patient's care, you know that they have breached privacy legislation. And then we come to legislation. Do we keep up with it? How does legislation, which is a very laborious thing that governments go through, how do they become agile enough to keep up with the technology that's being introduced? This is where HIMSS come involved. So what can we do? So at the workplace, we need to continually learn. We need to stay up to date with new technologies. We need to learn about new innovations and new ideas, and we need to be willing to try new things. Not everything will be a success. Some things will fail. But at least you've given it a go and you know what not to do next time. Be part of the solution. Don't say, I don't like, I don't want to do, I don't want to be part of it. If you're going to complain and you find it daunting, be part of the solution. Get in and get involved. Put your hand up to be in meetings and teams. Put your hand up to assist in the implementation of the new systems. You're the expert on privacy. You're the expert on patient information. You need to be involved in these areas because otherwise, nurses and clinicians and allied health, so physios and OTs, they have expertise in their areas of treating patients. We have our expertise in the legalities, the legislation, the patient information, the security, and we can work hand in hand with all of those teams because we're the conduits. And that's where you're going to learn the most about being part of the solution. You need to educate. So teach your staff how to use the technology. Don't be afraid of something new. Be seen as the go-to person for being taught in patient systems. So become the expert. You're already the expert. You just need to learn a little bit more to get that new system going. So learn it and teach it, and then be there to be the backup when somebody needs your help. Embrace and support those people that are unsure and don't like change and don't like new technology. How many of you have parents or grandparents that don't like mobile phones or smartphones or it's hard, Nita. I'm trying to teach my father and my father's 80. So it is difficult. So you need to embrace and be patient and support those people, because one thing we don't want to lose in the health workforce is people. So you might think that you're going to slow down going from paper to technology or electronic health records. You won't. There will be other jobs to pick up that slack that you think you're going to have. And the introduction of any new technology slows the work down for about 3 months. You won't be back up to speed until 3 months after the technology has been introduced. So always remember that, and always be forgiving and advocate for your staff. Because some people will say, oh, we've put it in, you'll be able to do it, you should know it, and you should be getting all the work done. No, it doesn't happen that way. Build relationships. Get to know the IT people. They'll become your advocates in the end if you understand what they're talking about, but you can explain to them what we need as health information managers. And they will then advocate for you to be on those committees, for you to be part of the changes, which means you're still looking after your health information. You're then advocating for your patients because you're the conduit. Get to know your doctors. Junior doctors are fantastic with technology. But like I just told you about the older doctor that didn't want to type into the electronic record and brought his secretary along, they're the people that you need to support because they don't like change. They're very set in their ways, and you will hear, but I've always done it this way. It's always worked. Why do I need to change it now? Nurses. Nurses are usually running from the time they start their shift until the time they finish. So be available to answer their questions and support them, because they're trying to run a department as well as look after sick people. The ward staff and the clerical staff, become part of their team. Make yourself available, or build your team that they end up working closely with the ward staff and the clerical staff, so that we're getting good data, or getting good data being inputted, which means we get good data coming out. The executive team, so your CEOs, your medical directors, these people are the decision makers. So you need to make sure that you have shown them your worth, your expertise, and your knowledge, and the fact that you're agile and up to date, so that when there is a problem, when there is something that they want to update to do with patient information, they will be calling upon you to be part of that solution. What if you don't know the answer? We don't know it all. And I've been in plenty of meetings where they've asked me a question and I've gone, I don't know. But you know what? I'll go and look into that, and I'll come back to you next Wednesday, or in a week, or in 2 weeks, and I will give you the answer to the question you're asking. I can find it out. And you might find it out through your colleagues. You might reach out to someone in another country like me. You might send me a message and say, hey, Cassie, what do I do about this? So always be honest with them. Interesting question. Yeah, I'll find out about that and I'll get back to you by. So what can HIMSS do for yourself? Join your professional association, or join a professional association. You know, there is no reason that you cannot join HIMA. You get networking opportunities, you get professional development, much the same as what today is. You get to listen and hear and learn. We have community of practices, so we have clinical coding, we have clinical documentation improvement, rural and regional hospitals. Then you can become part of committees and be part of that change and updating also. Other associations, look for groups that are like-minded or are doing something that you're really interested in and you feel passionate about. Or there's a part in your career knowledge that you're unsure of. Maybe you join that group for 12 months, 2 years, until you feel that you've got that knowledge, and then you can make up your mind, do I want to stay or do I want to go? But you look for groups that can teach you something and you can learn from. And reach out to those people that already, if you know someone in the health system, your local health system, reach out, talk to them. Say, hey, I'm going to be a new grad next year. What do I need to do to get a job? What type of jobs are going in the hospital? What areas of interest do I need to become an expert in? So there again, reach out. Don't be afraid to ask. So knowledge is, learn. Knowledge is important. Make sure you always make that a priority in your life. And remember, we are the custodians of patient health information. We have a duty to ensure that information is protected. We need to have a commitment in this era of great technology change to look after that information to the best of our ability. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Rupnik. So because this is a very interesting topic for me, like because I'm a novice. Let's say I'm a very novice in health information management domain. Like I do know, I mean, like my thesis, my doctoral thesis actually is about I'm trying to, you know, I don't know, like to support laypersons in order to learn medical terminology in social
Yep.
Let's say the social forum, medical social forum. And then this is a very interesting topic for me, like, oh, okay. And then I'm trying to detect, like, so I'm sorry, in my thesis, I'm sorry if it's out of topic, because like in my thesis is I'm trying to detect the info, let's say the medical entities, and then link it into SNOMED City. I know that there is also SNOMED City in Australia also, because my
Yes.
thesis, the data set of my thesis is come from Australia actually.
Yeah.
And then it is very interesting for me, and then for me, and I just realized that being a health information manager or like clinical coordinator, it's a very, I mean, like, it's a very multidisciplinary. I mean, like, you need
Yes.
to cooperate with a lot of like medical professionals, and then also
That's
yeah, it's not limited to the medical professionals, also to the IT staff, because it's very multidisciplinary works and it's so complicated. And when I hear your presentations, which is the competencies is like, you know, shifting a lot, like from 3 competencies into huge number of the competencies for him itself. Like
Yeah.
it is very okay. The change is very rapidly, and especially with the information technology nowadays, right? Yeah.
So can I ask a quick question? What
Yes.
classification system is used in Indonesia? Do you use ICD-10 or do you use a modification like ICD-10 AM? So what classification do you use?
I'm sorry, but here maybe I would like to please correct me for the other my colleagues. So I think we use the ICD-10, like most of the
ICD-10.
like yeah, and
So
then
the one from who? From the
yeah,
World Health
yeah,
Organization. Okay.
you're right. Yeah, I think this is one of the things that the main classifications, codifications we are using in our department. And then yeah, I think, I don't know if it's in Australia, you have several thing classifications, right?
Yeah, we use ICD-10 AM, so it's an Australian modification. And that's used in about 15, 16 other countries in the world. We are currently looking at going to ICD-11, probably in 2032. And and that then is a classification system that you can't make modifications on. So who is developing it so that what you code in Indonesia, what we code in Australia, what is coded in the UAE can all be mapped back together. We actually get global data then that we are able to use to improve healthcare,
Okay. So
which I think is really exciting.
Yeah, you're right. It's very interesting because then, you know, if we have like data repository in all over the world, that we will have like, I think it's kind of like a new, open up a new opportunity that we know how the global health it is like happening like right now, because we have the same classifications thingy.
Well, most governments that belong to the World Health Organization already send their data to the World Health Organization.
I see.
But it needs to be manipulated a bit because we have modifications. So Canada has modifications, America has modifications, Germany has modifications, Denmark has a modification. So there is lots of different systems. So where they're trying to bring it into one so that we then get proper global data. SNOMED CT is slightly different to ICD.
Yeah.
It's much more common language.
Yeah.
Can I put it that way?
Right. Yeah, correct. It's correct. I think it's using as I know this. Please correct me, because I think ICD-10 it's more like for classification, the disease classification or something. But SNOMED CT, I think it's kind of like for data interoperability used in electronic health records. So it's quite totally different. Yeah. It's different. But I know that they have some connection between these two classifications, which is very interesting.
Yeah. So I guess we've got a couple of questions
Yeah,
here.
you're right. This is, I'm sorry, I would like to ask the committee first, maybe that should I pick up or or the committee already pick up the questions? Okay.
Well, I'm happy to
Oh, okay,
just
now I have this one. I'm sorry. Now I got the one. I got all of them. So I think I can read it for you, and then maybe you can
Yep.
answer directly, so we can back and forth
Yep.
questions and answer. So the first question from Anggita Lila. So she asked about, can the applications of AI replace work as him professional so that this can have an impact on reducing job opportunities? And then the second question is, what step can be taken to reduce the concerns about these problems? Is it an interesting topic, I think, here?
No, it won't replace HIMs. It may change your role, the same as clinical coders, their role will change. With, if you look at 3Ms, or now they're called Solventum, they have a program called Encompass, which is, they're working on introducing AI into it. So what happens with your digitized or electronic record, it will run over those notes when the patient has been discharged. It will highlight those things that you should be looking at. And then you've got to agree or disagree to be able to code it. So my vision of what will happen to clinical coders is that they will become more of an auditing person. So they will go through and actually check that the computer's picking up the right stuff, or the AI is picking up. Another company, Beamtree, who I worked with a few years ago, they are now looking at AI to look at the quality of coding and also run it over the notes to see whether you're missing information. The thing as a HIM professional, no, I can't see you being run out of the hospital because of AI, because someone still needs to be able to talk to other people.
I agree.
You can use AI to your advantage and learn. And I think that's what I've said the whole way through today. Keep learning, keep learning. Embrace it, use it to your advantage. So, no, I can't see it reducing your opportunities. I can see it expanding your opportunities outside of health, into other areas. It will expand the opportunities for research, which Anissa's doing, and I'm trying to start mine at the moment. I still haven't put pen to paper about my hypothesis, but this will expand your knowledge and your expertise. So don't be frightened of it.
Yeah, I do agree with you, because, like, technology won't roll. I mean, like, it's just shifting. It's not like replacing. I believe this is, I completely agree, totally agree with your opinion, this question.
And you have to be aware of it so that you're ready when it happens.
You're right. We need to, we cannot avoid, we just need to be like working together with the technology, right? Yeah.
We have to embrace it.
And then, so we have the second questions from Maudina Masa. So she asks about, what are the key technology tools that HIM professional must master to thrive in the digital health era? So yeah, what is the key technology tools?
Making friends with your IT person.
I'm sorry?
Making friends with your IT personnel. You need to be able to have an understanding of, the last few years I've had to reacquaint myself with SQL. And I haven't used that for many, many years, but that is something that is always there in the background, and it's good for you to be able to understand that terminology. So just as we understand medical terminology, IT specialists understand IT terminology, and to bridge that gap, we need to be able to understand more of what they're talking about than what they need to know about what we're talking about. So the tools that you actually need is more personal tools, patience, being inquisitive, learning. And if you can get into even a short course of learning how to write computer code, I would say that would be beneficial.
Yeah. I think, yeah, because I agree also with your opinion about then, because you are in between the ITN and also the medical professional, and then you are the one, the expert, which is the IT needs, because they don't have any background knowledge, or like, I mean, they can code, they can make something, but you are the expert. So yeah, I agree.
Right. So you're the conduit that's going between IT and the medical profession.
Yeah, you are the man in the middle.
You've got to speak both languages, really.
Yeah.
So make friends with both sides, but particularly the IT, because you will get those small wishes.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
which you can help you. I mean, like which you may like at least to increase your productivity. Let's say if you make a friends also with them, right?
Absolutely. So there was a question just before dinner about what kind of activities do you think are most effective for improving the performance and professionalism?
Yeah.
Being open, honest, friendly, being available to help. Now, when I say being available to help, I don't mean putting your work last and being at the beck and call of somebody else. You still need to get your work done, but work on time limits. And this is where something that we come as professionals, that we need to learn about time management. Because you will be pulled from place to place. You will be pulled because of your knowledge and your expertise. But in that, you will also be pulled because you need to learn and you need to know more to be able to answer those questions. So to improve performance and professionalism, be available, be honest, be open, and you are allowed to say no to something. And I know that is one of the hardest things to do as a professional. I struggle with it, but you have to also, you have work to do without everything else as well. So there are times where you will have to learn to say no, or say, no, I can't do it now, but give me 3 weeks because I've got all these other projects to get done first.
Yeah, I agree. And then I think the last, I think we have also the same questions, like what are the key competencies required for the health professional to adapt the digital era? Yeah, I think you already, if you would like to add more something here about these questions from
I think really you have to be willing to learn and be open to change. And you have to be agile enough for the change. So you need to support it, you need to educate, you need to learn. You need to assist and ask questions, but also be there to answer questions. So the best you can do for your career and being professional is make your department, make your team the go-to people, and be involved.
Yeah, I agree.
I guess that's my biggest thing, be involved.
Yeah, involved, and yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And then I think we do have another question, Ms. Rupnik. So from Rawi, what do you think right now? We are already in the digital era, or still in the transformations to it? And then how long do you think, how long will it take the transformations to the digital era? So
wow, Raul, that's a
we are now. Yeah, we are now. So now we are in the digital era already.
We are in digital, but it depends on how along the pathway you are. So you've already told me that you have paper records. You're very much in the transformation stage. The video I showed you of New South Wales Health, we started in 2016. And we're still adding things to it. So you could say we haven't completed it. And then in 2 years' time, so next year, where I do my clinical coding, the Hunter New England Local Health District, they're trialling a system for 2025-2026.
Mm.
It could be introduced to the rest of New South Wales in 2026, and that is Solventum Encompass. Have a look at it on the websites. It will involve lots more technology, but then it's got to feed back into our electronic health records also. So we're still transforming. I can't say how long it will take. So we've already been doing it, 8 years? We're still going down the pathway. And because technology changes so quickly and our requirements of technology change quickly, that's where we need to keep agile and moving forward and learning and teaching.
Okay.
So sorry, I can't give you a definite number answer on that one.
Yeah, I can imagine, because this is a long process, right? And then there's new things, and then we need to keep update, changing, learning, and everything's against a long-term process. So I think, can I ask you one question? Because I'm very interested with it's related to the first questions, actually, like about the AI thingy, because I would like to, I would like to ask about your opinion about if we do have the automatic coder, for example, like we have an AI and then they help us to do the classification, or like do the code automatically. And then here, what do you, if there is something wrong to the patient, for example, because AI is prone to error, let's say, and then here is, I have a kind of like a question, like who will be the responsible? Is it the medical coder? Is it the hospital itself, or the IT, or like this IT itself? So it's kind of like interesting for me, because if we have this one in the future, what would be
Okay,
impact?
so we're saying that with AI, they've entered information into the medical record, but it's actually wrong. Okay, it actually comes back to the person that put the information in. So if it's the clinician that has used AI to write their clinical notes and it has come out wrong and they haven't read it and corrected it, I believe it has to come back to the clinician. So therefore, when it goes down to the medical record department and the clinical coders are coding it and it doesn't make sense, so they're saying, okay, I've got a right neck of femur fracture, but they've operated on the left ring finger. Where's the information? So you would go back then to a clinical documentation integrity specialist, to the HIM, and you would go back to the clinician for clarification.
I see.
Okay. So you hope it doesn't get any further than the clinical coder.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
So I think also this is interesting to be aware of also, because then you are the one, I mean, like we are the closest one with these problems. I mean, like with this kind of thing. And then it's also prone to like, it may affect our job also. I mean, like because of this thing, and then we need to be aware of. I was thinking that because all the automation, we need to be still handful and everything, and then to be aware of. Yeah.
So that's why I believe we won't get rid of clinical coders, because you still need someone to read the medical record and to audit it and actually approve of what's in there, particularly if that's how you're funded, your hospital is funded, is through your classification with diagnosis-related groups. So, no, sorry, I'm going to ask another question of you all. Do you use diagnosis-related groups? How are the hospitals funded in Indonesia?
Maybe I don't have any answers for in myself, but maybe one of my colleague can help us to have the answers to questions. Maybe Pak Dian, because it's been a while for me. I'm not involved like directly. Okay, unfortunately.
No, looking at your CV, you've been doing a lot of study, so a lot of research.
Yeah, because I don't have any answers. I mean, like I'm not in. I was thinking that I'm not capable enough to answer the question because I'm not directly into the
No,
hospital.
that's all right.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm going to look at my PhD research on
Yeah.
funding
Uh-huh.
and different funding systems. I'm interested in how other countries fund their hospitals.
But then funding hospitals, I'm not quite sure in terms of the hospital, but I'm working in a university that we have some kind of like research funding and then that we can apply for. And then for also maybe you can apply for some grant. I mean, we are willing to apply for a proposal for funding. And then we can just apply for a grant, but I'm not quite sure if it's in health professional, like in healthcare system itself, how the professional can be do some research, because as far as I know that most of them are participate, like you also participate in the university and then using this funding from the university to be applied for in the hospital directly. But maybe this is only based on my to the best of my knowledge, but I'm not quite sure. Maybe if in the future, if I have these answers, I can get back to you. So.
That would be lovely. It's just out of interest that I've asked, but you know, even for research, it's really important that you get your data right.
Yeah.
So any data analytics that you need, you want correct, clean data. And ever since computers have been around, and I started university with paper and pen and an electronic typewriter. We didn't have computers when I started university. They used to say rubbish in, rubbish out. And it's still that way. If you don't put in the correct data, you're not going to get the right data out. So, but I've probably taken up way too much of everybody's time this afternoon.
Yeah.
Or this morning. You're still in morning.
I'm still in the morning. So, but but this is very insightful, like talks, and then I'm very happy, like, because I learned something new, like completely. I'm trying to dive more in this health information management, and then this is very beneficial. And I believe also for the participant, because most of them are this young researcher in the early stage, and then who will pursue the degree for him itself. And then this is very interesting, and then your presentations is very like helpful for us. And then I think that once again, thank you so much. And then maybe I can, if I have questions, I'm sorry, if I can reach out you by email. I'll reach out by email.
You can all reach out to me. I'd be very happy to help. And if you've got anyone that wants to fly me over to work over there for a little while, I'd be happy to do that as a consultant. So I actually, quite a few years ago, or 2019, I went to Singapore and did every hospital that they had in Singapore, looking at their coding services, which was extremely interesting. I really enjoyed that. So, but I will leave you all now. Email me or put a message on LinkedIn.
Yeah, sure.
And thank you very much. So wonderful to meet all 230 of you.
Yeah, you're right.
And thank you for reaching out to me.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I think I would like to give a conclusion to close our session, a brief conclusions only. So then in order to keep update our competencies in the digital era, I believe that we are as a HIM, we need to have like eager to learn, like it's kind of like long-term process. We need to like keep update with the new things, whether you can read some in the articles, LinkedIn, or like directly in the professional credentials and any kind of informations. And then also, as you said, that be part of the solutions, dive into the real cases, and then it can help you to expand your knowledge and expertise. And also teaching and learning, which I believe also important, because you can say that you learn something if you can teach to someone else. And then I agree this way on, like, please educate other staffs, or like you yourself also, so that you can keep updating new informations, build up the relationship with the with any colleagues in any department, like IT especially, maybe like medical professional. And then also join professional association, which is also helpful, because this professional association will update the informations and then the knowledge, so that you can keep up with the new update. and reach out and then ask for someone if you don't understand for something, and don't be afraid even for silly question is a questions. So but keep up to reach out with any expert, and then keep up to learn, because this is a learning process for long terms. Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Rupnik, once again.
Thank you.
Yeah, we are honored to help you to have you in this today event. So
I have enjoyed every minute, and I love helping. So let me know if you need me to come and talk back about something else.
Yeah, we will keep up. Okay, so I think
I will leave you all now. Have a wonderful day, and the invitation and being such a fantastic audience with questions.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Bye. Thank you. Yeah, thank you to speakers, and then for all the attending also, and then we hope that you found this international guest lecture on health information management 2024 are informative enough and also inspiring, and have a great day. I look forward for the new events, next event in the future. So I think I will give it back to the MC. Thank you so much.
Once again, thank you so much to our moderator, Ms. Annisa, Maulida, Ningtyas, and S.Kom, M.Eng. And also, thank you very much to our distinguished speaker, Ms. Cassandra Rupnik, HIM, CHIA, for sharing your insights and experience with us today. As we come to the end of our event, I would like to make some important announcements for all participants. The material can be accessed at the link in the chat box, and the certificate will be sent out no more than a month after this event. I would also like to remind all participants to fill out the participation form using the link or barcode provided by the committee in the chat box on the screen. Participants who do not attend and fill the attendance form will not receive a certificate. Unfortunately, we have reached at the end of the event. I, Nida Sufa Firdausi, as the master of ceremony of today's event, would like to thank all participants who attended today's event. And as the representative of the International Guest Lecture on Health Information Management Committee, I sincerely apologize for the many shortcomings and mistakes during the event. We hope that you have gained valuable knowledge and wish you to always stay healthy. Thank you for participating in today's event and hope to see you again at the International Guest Lecture on Health Information Management 2025. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.